On to day three, no delay. This is the Treasure Island exercise from the course. So the demo looks like this. That's the flow chart. I'm not sure if she shows the demo somewhere, but anyway. All right, here it is. So this is the demo. Click run. There's some ASCII art. This is a treasure chest. Welcome to Treasure Island. Let me put it here. Welcome to Treasure Island. Your mission is to find the treasure. These are print statements. You're at a crossroad. Where do you want to go? Type left or right. So do left. Come to a lake. There's an island in the middle of the lake. Type wait. Type swim. We'll do wait. You go, you arrive at the island. There's a house, doors, red, yellow, blue. Which color? So choose one. Let's say yellow. Found the treasure. Win. Okay, that's cool. Um, Otherwise, I think if we pick the other ones, like if I say right, fell into a whole game over. If I run it again and I say right, for example, all capitals, right? Notice that it still works. So the case has been accounted for. If we do left, left, ah, wait, type wait or swim. Let's say swim. Yeah, I guess because I hit extra spaces there. All right, swim. Get attacked by an angry child. Game over. All right. So let's recreate this. So firstly, in the purpose of aesthetics, I'm gonna go ahead and like replace the ASCII art. Not that it matters, but let's do this one here. This is a Valkyrie. Cool. So we just copy this part. Let's grab this. Looks a little like a chain, doesn't it? And let me check something real quick. Okay. So if I run this now, we're just going to get these two print statements. Here's the ASCII, welcome to Treasure Island, your mission, and it's done. All right. So there's a flow chart. All right, brightness alert. Welcome to the island, left, right. We got game over, swim, wait. Yeah, I'm not feeling like too creative right now, so I'm just gonna call this the way it is. So the first thing is left or right, right? Your mission is to put the place. So we got this thing here. Left or right is the first choice. So we're gonna ask the user, you're going left or you're going right? And let me see, the demo was like, if you put left in the demo, oh, then there's the, whatever the response is gonna be, right? Okay, so there's the response and that can be an empty string. And then we'll say if response equals left, but we can make that lower. So if response equals left, what was it? Print, you've come to a lake, there's an island in the middle of the lake. Okay. Okay. And then it says, type wait to wait for a boat. Type swim to swim across. I'm going to change these to, so these are double quotes in here. All right. So to a lake, you've come. Oh, you come to a lake. How do I? This thing is breaking because of the single quotes. So just escape the apostrophe, right? You come to a lake. Or actually, no, that's not very neat. What's better is you can just do there. You come to a lake, there's an island in the middle of the lake. Type wait to wait for a boat. Type swim to swim across. And if the response is right, then going by the demo, I don't know what the options are, so I could just type this. So left, you come to a lake. If you do right, you fell into a hole. Game over. Just gonna say game over. All right, now, if you did say left, print left, rather here, and in fact, this needs to be an input. Okay, so first we start with the response, right? If the response is left, then we change the response to whatever the input will be here. the response is left, then we ask wait or swim. So if response is wait, we're going to do something. And if the response is swim, then again, it's game over. And then we have the bottom part here. All right, so left or right? If it's right, it's game over. If it's left, then swim or wait. If it's swim, trout, game over. Now it says swim or anything else, not accounting for that. Actually, yes, we are accounting for that because anything that's type that isn't wait is could be anything. Um, Now, if the response is indeed wait, then we're going to ask them which door. So we're going to say choose door, red, blue, or yellow. So if response is red, fire, game over. And if it is blue, beasts, game over. Otherwise, it's red, no, yellow, which means you win. But actually, no. LF response equals yellow, you win. And if you type anything else, it's game over. Does this all work out? Is this going to work fine? I don't know. Let's check. So here's the ASCII art. Okay, welcome to Treasure Fair. Your mission is to find the treasure, and we're already dead. That's messed up. All right. So the response is empty. Okay, let's run that one more time. Now response is not defined. But if we start with an empty string, right, we could say response equals right. It's game over because we need the empty string to start with. We still fell in a hole, which means this whole thing was false. It says does response equals left? No, it doesn't. So this happens. Makes sense. So if response equals left, equals right. Nope, we still messed up. Hmm. Okay, let's get the input first. How's that? Then we can start the branches. So if like type swim to swim across. So if the response is right, let's just simplify this. Yes, let's do double. Left or right? Now, if the response is left, it's swim or wait. Otherwise, the response is right. Fell in hole, game over. And then it says anything else. Game over. Now, back to this. This is where we branch inward. So you're at a lake, swim or wait. So if it's wait, it's game over. And if it's not wait, it's swim. What we're going to do on else if. Um, trout, game over, whatever. And the game does specify if you say anything else, so that's else, right? And uh, invalid response, game over. It's pretty unforgiving. So if response is wait, game over. But if the response, oh no, if they say wait, they move on. So if they say wait, then we got to ask the door, right? So now the new response will be red, yellow, or blue. And then we have the if for each particular case. So if response red, yellow, so if the response is red, what happens? Burned by fire. Fire. Game over. If it's yellow, you win. And oh, and if it's blue, beasts. Game over. And anything else, you lose anyway. Uh, so run this. And if I say right, should be game over. Great. Let's do it again. Say left. You're at a lake. Swim or wait. Wait should be game over. Oh no, wait is we continue. Red, yellow, or blue. So red will be game over. Okay. So if we do left, we continue. If we say swim, done. Yeah, okay. Left, you got a lake, swim or wait. Wait. Let's go to blue. Game over. Okay, left or right, we say left. Swim over. All right, we're supposed to wait. So we say left, wait, red, yellow, blue. If I do anything else, game over. Now, the current thing is case sensitive, right? So if I did, for example, left with a capital L, that's an invalid response. So just take this then and do lower, right? So anytime the response gets updated, it already has this there. We could also do strip in case there's like an extra space, but anyway. So we say left or right, say left, still works. All right. Now, the thing is, let's get this out of the way. Okay, so I just want to look this over now and kind of really like this is one of these things that's very simple and very just basic logic, but the first time you see it, your mind has trouble reconciling between, like the flow chart and how it translates to code, and then you kind of get lost in the weeds. And you start getting frustrated, like, man, why is like this is so simple? If this and that, like what's going on, right? I know it's like some nested if statements and then this some, else if and then the else, but why can't I get it? So I just want to go over it in my mind, like a little bit more. So I like ideally to look at this and at least have a broad overview, right? I don't think I'm ever going to have everything in my mind. It's a matter of breaking it down. So if we look at this now, welcome to Treasure Island. So first, if statement is here, left or right, right? And we understand that right closes that loop, and the or anything else means that there will be an else statement. So if response left, we're going to continue here to whatever this next thing is. If response is right, fell into a hole. But notice it says or anything else, so that is my else. Then we dig in, right? We have the next case here, swim or wait. So if the response was wait, we move on to this bottom part. Otherwise, an else if, attacked by trout, game over. And again, there's or anything else, which is our final default else statement, which means game over. Now we go back to this if, and we're looking at the bottom part. So in the bottom part, before I expand this, in the bottom part, we should mentally be able to see. Then we have another nested if statement, which is going to be red, yellow, or blue. Let me expand this. So we got red, yellow, or blue, right? We are now in the bottom part of this whole thing after the user gives wait, right? After this happens, we're now in the bottom of this chart. So we take the input again, red, yellow, or blue, and then what are our cases? It's going to be red, yellow, or blue, or the anything else part. So if red, game over. If yellow, win. If blue, game over. And finally, as a default, if none of these are true, that means the user typed something that was invalid. So we have invalid response, game over. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do it again. All right. All right. No notes this time, no reference, no demo. Everything out of the way. Okay. So left or right. If it's right, it's game over. If it's left, we continue into whatever this next loop is. Otherwise, it's game over, period. So we're going to need something to catch the response. So the response is going to be this input, right? And we're just going to say left or right. And remember that we need to convert this response to lower to account for case insensitivity or sensitivity. All right, so we have if response equals left, then we go into this next case over here. Otherwise, response equals right, which means it's game over. And as a default, if you type anything that isn't left or right, then you just lose. Okay, so let's leave this for now because this goes into the ones below, right? So if the response is right, game over. And if you type anything else, it's game over. So now, why are you complaining? Elif response right. I'm missing something very obvious, I'm sure. If response equals left, Elif response equals right. Oh, else. The Elif needed a condition. All right, so now it's still complaining, bro. Indent expected. Do you expect an indent? Am I like crazy now? After it in state. What, you want this? That doesn't. Okay. All right. Got it. So now we go into the next case, swim or wait. If we wait, then we go into this next loop. Anything else, it's loops, right? So if response, now if the response equals wait, we go into the final part of this schematic here on the bottom. Otherwise, if the response equals swim, then it's game over because we're attacked by trout. And if the user does anything else, it's game over. So the way that I'm doing it, I could have just had like I could have had an else and capture both swim and anything that is neither swim nor wait because I'm just doing game over, so it doesn't really make a difference, right? So we could just put like fell in a hole. How's that? Game over. Yes. Bad response, game over. So it's a little bit okay. And over here, if you swim, what happens? Attacked by trout, game over. You know, let's say shark. Come on, trout. Give me a break. All right, so elif response, right? Else bad response, game over. So now we go into the last case. If the user just give us wait, what's our next thing here? So it's going to be red, yellow, or blue, and finally the anything else. So if response equals okay, let's fix this up. So if the response is red, yellow, or blue, it is game over. Otherwise, you're out of here. So in the case of red, see, I'm trying to get like the broad overview, and then I fill the parts in instead of trying to kind of build each piece without knowing what the big picture is. So if it's red, fire, game over. If it is yellow, you win. If it is blue, beasts, game over. And if it's anything else, well, then we have this. And I think we are good. I think we got it now. So right would be game over. If I said left, we continue to. Oh, left gave me bad response. What's up here? If response is left gave me a bad response, right? Left should have kind of forgot. Got to ask the user stuff, right? So if we get left, then we got to ask them, right? Again, swim or wait. Okay, and if the response is wait, other stuff happens. If it's swim, done, and you are again, you are done. Now, if the response, wait, left or right, so we get left. The response is left. So then we say, here we say, if the response is left, then we ask them, swim or wait. If the response is wait, it kind of has to be an input, right? And if the response is wait, which door, red, yellow, or blue? Okay, so we're looking okay now. So if we say left, swim or wait. If I say wait, dead. Wait. Yeah, wait means we continue. Now if I say red, it's game over. And if I say run it again, I say left, wait, and I say yellow, we win. And again, if I say left, wait, and I say blue, it's eaten by beasts, game over. Run it again. If I say left, and now instead of wait, I say swim, it's game over. And again, if I do like capital L left, it still works, right? Um, if I do wait, bad response, game over, but that should not have happened because wait, the response here is like the first time, right? It is converted to lowercase, right? Now, if the response is left, do I have to convert it like every single time? Well, like if I say left, nope, that works fine, right? Because this is the first one, right? Left or right. Then it says swim or wait. So if you do like SW, if you do wait with a capital T, you're done. So is the best way, like, do I have to put, do I have to use the lower method every single time we get a response? Yeah. Yes, we do. How many times do we get a response? One, two, three, right? One, two, three. Okay. So now if I say left, yeah, it works. Swim or wait, if I do all caps, it works. Switch door, red, yellow, blue. If I do anything that doesn't match any of these, then it is bad response, game over. Okay, happy with that for now. That was day 3.